Well, hello. Today, we're going to talk about the INFP and the ISFP when they get stuck in a relationship, when they're struggling in it. So, if you like seeing INFP and ISFP videos, be sure to like the video, share this video with people that you think it could really help or that you think would enjoy it. And it means so much to me. And I appreciate you guys' support. You are truly awesome. So this video, I hope, will help some people out there today. Because do you know any ISFPs and INFPs that are stuck in bad relationships? Relationships that that they don't deserve because they're really, really good people. They are caring people. They're nice. They're kind. They're easy to get along with. They care about people and causes, and they really do a lot of great things in the world. But sometimes when they get in relationships, and this is not all, and it's probably not even the majority, but some ISFPs and INFPs can find themselves in a trauma bind. And I'm going to try to break that down and help you understand exactly what that means, because they're in a situation or a romantic relationship. The person is cheating on them. The person won't get a job. The person isn't treating them well. The person is abusive or lightweight abusive. The person is narcissistic. And they keep hanging on to this person. The person has disconnected from them. They're not treating them right. The person could be a good person. It doesn't mean that they're a narcissist, but when it comes to the relationships, they are practicing narcissism. I did a video on that, how sometimes in relationships people practice narcissism. It's like all of a sudden I have a disregard for the other person, or I'm projecting my anger onto them, or this wasn't the relationship that I wanted, so I can treat this person however I want. Or they start treating the person as though they are a beanbag, a lifeless, no feelings thing instead of a human being. They hurt me in some way, and so now I'm hurting them, and I don't care how it's affecting them. And then they get into this really bad, awful cycle. And so it just breaks the INFP or the ISFP down, and they are in this situation and they can't seem to get out of it. And the thing about relationships, marriages, is you have made a commitment, a lifelong commitment to someone. So more than likely, they're going to want to honor their vows to the person. And definitely switching things up or getting out of a situation, that costs money. That means you got to find a new place to live. If you have kids, that means you have to explain it to them, what's happening. You might have to change their schools. There's so many implications when someone is in a toxic, bad situation. But the flip side of that is if you stay in the situation, then you're punishing yourself. I usually say, what is the likelihood of the person who is behaving badly? What is the likelihood of them changing? It's super small, very, very small. And a lot of times they don't even see the fallacy in their own thinking and how they're hurting the person that they're supposed to love. They will think the person deserves it. And that's a whole different other ball game that you have to deal with. Is trying to, even in therapy with that person, it's going to be hard to convince the partner who's cheating and doing all kinds of mean, cruel things. It's hard to help them see that they're doing something wrong. Part of the problem could be they're benefiting from the situation. I'm getting to eat my cake and have it too. Why wouldn't I want that? I don't want to stop what I'm doing. So I don't want to acknowledge that I'm doing anything wrong, even if I know I am, because I'm not ready to stop. I want to continue the behavior. And a lot of times it's like the person who is the victim is waiting for the other person to make the right decision and do the right thing. Why? Because for one thing, when someone is treating you badly, can you think as clearly? Can you make good decisions when you're feeling low all the time? When you've been beaten down, when you're depressed? Someone's actions are lowering your self-esteem because they're not loving you and taking care of you, your heart, the way that they should. It lowers your defenses. And so now you're in survival mode. You're just trying to make it. And sometimes it doesn't make sense to the people around them, because anytime you're in a bad relationship, it's excruciatingly painful. And these two types are no exception. It's extremely painful. These two types can feel enormous anger towards the person, but they won't get out. And there's a reason that they don't get out that might surprise you. And it's called a trauma bond. A trauma bond refers to an unhealthy attachment that takes place when you're in a relationship with someone who is emotionally abusive. So it's created when you are tied to someone in an unhealthy way and you're stuck. You can't get out. That's the trauma bond. Trauma bond is also referring to your natural reaction to the abuse that you're experiencing, and it usually happens as a result of intermittent reinforcement. ISFP and the INFP will be waiting for those flickering moments where the person is kind, is nice, lets them sit by them on the sofa and watch TV, or they give them a kiss, or they bring them a gift, or they're doing this, some people might call it fake love, because if you love someone, you treat them a certain way, but they will have these sporadic moments where the person is treating them with love, or they may laugh at something together. So then there's that glimmer of hope, but then it quickly goes back to the more abusive pattern, or the disrespectful pattern, or the I'm gone for 2 days even though we're married, or I'm not speaking to you, I'm going cold on you, or I'm cheating, or I told you I was getting a job, but now I'm back not trying to get the job, and so I'm just sitting around letting you do all the work. So now they're back in the toxic bad pattern, and they're waiting for that glimmer of hope again, and it eventually comes, but then they go back to that bad pattern again. And so when you start to have this pattern like that, it really trains your brain. Some might even say it reprograms your brain to think a certain way. And what happens is you get addicted to the chemicals that shoot up and make you feel good. Those moments when cortisol and oxytocin are shooting up in your brain, and it's that good feeling. You're looking for that. Just like somebody getting a high, you're waiting for that high again. And so you get locked into this pattern, and you don't even realize that you are being locked into a pattern that you can't get out of. So you associate this craziness with love, and this keeps you going back to the abusive person or the person who's mistreating you in your life. And you keep holding hope that the narcissist or this ridiculous person will come back, and some days you're okay and other days you're not, and you're still in the trauma bond because you're still falling for the person love bombing you. I'm gonna let you off the hook here. It's not your fault. It's not. It's your brain has wired around this pattern. And that's a really difficult place to be. You probably will feel very numb as you are in survival mode. You're trying to make it from day to day, and it makes it difficult to just get out of the situation. It's like you're locked in it. It's hard because the person comes back really sweet and nice, and they may come back with a sad story about how much they miss you and how they're going to treat you better, and you fall for it because you want it so bad, and you think that they have changed or that they really mean what they're saying, but you are still in the trauma bond. They're just re-traumatizing you, quote unquote traumatized. But yeah, you're in a pattern that is very difficult to break. So you have to start asking yourself, is this person's behavior abusive to me? And what is the answer? For sure, for sure. Is it a yes or is it a no? If it has all the patterns of abuse, it may not be physical abuse, but it's mental, emotional, then you have to accept that as is. Sometimes the solution to moving towards your healing is accepting the hard reality. What is the hard reality? I'm in a pattern. I'm in a cycle. This person is not being nice to me. One of the things you can do is start asking yourself daily, how am I feeling? Do I feel happy, sad, mad, glad? Write it down and start looking at that pattern every single day. A relationship shouldn't be about feeling down, confused, sad, longing, terrified, scared. That is not normal to have to feel that way every day. You should feel more often content, happy, at peace, like this is working. So if nothing else, look at the pattern and see what that pattern is doing. Because is this person able to pull your emotional strings easily? The INFP and ISFP might start looking for signs that this is the right person. It could be any little sign that they create or that they see, but that's not what is meant for you. So what locks you into this pattern? It's the need for relief of emotional and physical pain that the person inflicts. It's one part of the intermittent relief. So you probably are feeling numb because you've learned to repress your feelings to some degree because the trauma bond keeps you tied. It keeps you locked in. And that's why it's important to start acknowledging your feelings and doing that daily to help you move towards getting free from that. You may also have to figure out some ways to reward yourself. Create a reward system for yourself, whether that's I'm treating myself every Friday. So INFPs and ISFPs, just remember that healing is a process and it's a journey, and there isn't a straight line, and you can take as long as you need to heal, get support, and I know that you can come through this, and I definitely wish anybody the best who's in a situation like this, because relationships can be tough, and it might be a great time to understand narcissists, which is why I wrote my book called The Workplace Narcissist. And even though I titled it that, it can help you with someone who is having narcissistic behavior. It can help you if you're in a relationship with strategies and tactics and things that you can use, and just understanding how those people think, because you can get into a trauma bond if you are married to a narcissist. So you want the tools to get out. So check out my book. It's on Amazon by Tamara Hunter Zyon. And I will see you guys on the next video. Be sure to like it and subscribe. Thanks, friends. See you later. Bye-bye.